Sometimes I think I've lost my mind, but other times I'm certain. Gabbie Hannah. So this video is going to discuss the second chapter in the endless saga that is Gabbie's series, Holding T-Channels Accountable. I am now more confused in light of Gabbie's new message where she says she started meds after the wrap-up of this series. And I feel conflicted about that because first off, she smokes weed. Weed can be used to treat ADHD. So okay, she's been treating her ADHD, just not traditionally. Even at that, I feel conflicted, I can't trust her words because her timeline is all over the place. And to have to edit this and post this series, even when she was on meds, it shows it's not just an ADHD thing. And also the fact that she was talking about comorbidities. Comorbidities mean she has more than ADHD. And if she's not going to disclose it, she shouldn't just blame ADHD. Because that can be a hindrance on people getting diagnosed for ADHD. Ultimately, this isn't the action of an emotionally healthy person. Even if it's like she says, she's just trolling, even at that, it's not an emotionally healthy thing to do. Let's all remember that she's obviously not doing well. She starts off this video with a weird explanation of how she thought she had to get rid of her mental health issues to be happy. And that's odd to me first because she's a psych major. So she should know that's not how it works. No one's cured of a mental illness. If you have a mental illness, you have it for the rest of your life. I have always looked at it this way. When you're doing good, you're mentally healthy because you're doing your best, going to therapy, doing self-care, whatever you need to do to be mentally okay. That's when you're in remission. But that doesn't mean you're immune from it coming back. Some people, it won't come back. But some people, it will. We should normalize that struggle. She also talks about how her brain would spiral when things went wrong, and I wonder if she can tell when it's happening or only after it happens. Because this right here looks like a spiral to me. But what do I know? This is all just my opinion. She then goes on to talk about how she needs a new mattress. Fair enough. Mattresses only have a finite lifespan, and not getting good sleep can be devastating. But Gabbie. She has to make this weird. She talks about how Purple Mattress sponsored her podcast, and how they sent her a purple mattress. But one of the production crew took it. And now she's upset because she could have had a free mattress. But now she has to go buy a mattress. And I'm just sitting here like a member on your team who probably has a lot less than you, took a mattress, and now you're upset because you need a new one. Okay, what the hell, I'm sorry. If I was earning as much as Gabbie, I wouldn't even think like that. Because I have come from not having much. Can we just all realize how entitled that is? I get free stuff is great, even if you earn a lot of money. But if you could give that thing free to someone who needs it more than you, that you actively know, wouldn't you? Because I would. It's not even giving it to someone you don't know. No, this person works with you. Then Gabbie goes on to talk about the tone indicator incident and explains that she didn't understand the tweet because she can't be ableist because she's neurodivergent. That's not how that works. Anyone in any group can be anti that group or have internalized problematic views. Look at feminists who are TERFs. What is that even? And this exists in all minority groups. People can be part of that group but actively hurt that group. I want to say tone indicators in text isn't just helpful to neurodivergent people. It's extremely hard for even neurotypical people sometimes to read tone in text. Tone indicators are an amazingly helpful thing. Gabbie then goes on to say that she's just communicating differently and how she doesn't feel bad for anything she's done in the past because now she realizes she's neurodivergent. Honestly, I don't know. I would say I feel shocked, but no, I don't. This is some real BS. I'm sorry, neurodivergency is not an excuse for poor behavior. And a lot of what she's done isn't just neurodivergency problem. No, You can't blame all of your problematic behavior on neurodivergency. This is what makes people look down on neurodivergency. And even if that's true, and her behavior is only because of her ADHD, why does she expect we all accept that when she can't even realize then she has to have the same grace for other people who have neurodivergency or mental health conditions? Because look at Trisha. Trisha has a condition that makes it hard for them to function. So no, you can't just have it one way or the other. This is why it's so hypocritical of Gabbie. She says everything is about her. She also said now she knows it was her ADHD. And she keeps going on this, how we are just not okay with how she reacts because she's neurodivergent. Her saying this hurts the community, but also it hurts people who are undiagnosed. Ultimately, I don't buy this excuse because we don't give mentally ill or neurodivergent murderers a pass because they are mentally ill or neurodivergent. We judge it on how cognitive was their ability to understand right from wrong. But I want to ask Gabbie, should we just have let them go? No, it's based on your ability to know right from wrong. And people with ADHD have the ability to know right from wrong, in my opinion. Then Gabbie goes on to say what I find the worst and most problematic thing she says. She's happy that she's not an awful person everyone said she was because she just had ADHD. And she's basically saying if she had bipolar disorder or BPD, it would make her a monster. Just no. F you, Gabbie. No. Mental illness, even the ones that have been villainized, doesn't make you a monster. People are more than their mental illness. They are people. Many people live with these disorders and are functioning members of society and are valid. Even when someone in that mental health condition does something bad, we shouldn't just boil it down to their mental illness because it's more than that. Ted Bundy didn't kill because his mental health issues. He killed because he was an awful person, but that's separate from his mental illness. Let's stop this villainization of conditions just because some bad people did some bad things who just happen to be mentally ill. Even people who are sociopaths can live perfectly normal lives. She then goes on to say,
we need to open up the conversation of understanding that you may not like the way somebody behaves or the way somebody handles the situation, but you don't get to dictate other people. You don't understand what's going on with them or how they process it. Everybody has a different point of view. Just because it doesn't align with yours doesn't make it wrong. I just feel like at some point, our tolerance for people being different and having different personalities and traits went out the window. And it was just like, you are not like us.
I deny this, I'm sorry, but first Gabbie can't claim this because she doesn't apply it to anyone else but herself. So it's a lie. She doesn't have the grace for Trisha. Where's Trisha's apology then, Gabbie? Where is her apology for drama channels? She might not like the way they handle things, but in her view, they should be able to process things how they like. Where's Joey's apology? I'm sorry, but no. Also, I would like to play a game, an ad-lib with you. I want you to think of the most problematic person you can think about to show you how extremist this statement actually can be. And when I say problematic, think of the worst of the worst. Beyond Gabbie. You may not like that.
Insert name here. Insert problematic behavior here.
But you don't get to dictate other people. You don't understand what went on with
pronoun of problematic person here.
Or how
pronoun of problematic person here
processes things. Everyone has different points of view. Just because it doesn't align with yours doesn't make it wrong. I just feel like at some point our tolerance for people being different and having different traits went out the window. Okay, now that you went through the ad-lib with me, what do you think of that statement? Is that statement now extremist? Criticism, even if you don't like it, should always exist because calling out problematic people isn't saying they shouldn't exist. It's saying they didn't do a good thing. She also goes on to talk about groupthink. It reminds me of someone, but who I cannot remember. I can't even think of his name. But let me tell you what I feel about groupthink online. I don't think it's as bad as people think it is. Look at Gabbie. She no matter what she did, had fans who stayed with her. Sure, a group thought she was problematic, but that doesn't make the group the majority. And even within that group, you're going to find people with vastly different reasons as to why they find her problematic. And most don't even seek out the crowd. So how is that a group? She also talks about how volatile people rile up volatile people, as if she's some saint who's never done this. Like she didn't ever send her fans after people. Her hypocrisy is so beyond me that my notes are, I don't understand every 5 seconds. She then says how people were mean to her, but when she comes out as neurodivergent, people apologize saying, we didn't know we were so cruel. And she says you shouldn't have to know someone's mental state, health, or neurological makeup to be a kind, empathetic person who tries to see the best in people. I just don't even understand at this point. So Trisha? Gabbie can't be all holier than thou when she doesn't realize all her statements apply to the others she has hurt. She then goes on to say that you don't get to tell people how to feel or how to react to a situation that you have never experienced. So when is Gabbie going to apologize to Jessie or anyone else she has hurt? She doesn't get to tell somebody how they should feel or react to a situation. That applies to everybody she's hurt. Literally everybody who she's hurt. This was a segue into her talking about the Devons family. If you want to hear my thoughts on that, a link will be down in the description box below. It will take you to an Unlisted video. I thought that would be the best way to respect the family and still talk about this, because it still needs to be talked about. Hi, you're back from that. Hello again. Or maybe you chose to stay and watch this through, then click on the link, or never clicked on the link. Whatever you decide, it's your choice and it's valid. So back to the Gabbie show. Gabbie brings up again that she can't be ableist because she's neurodivergent, and that's not how that works. I'm going to give you an example. You're disabled, but not outwardly. You don't look it, but you have a disability placard, and you park in a handicapped parking spot. But then this person starts to yell at you. This person's also disabled, but you can clearly tell that they are. They assume that you're not disabled, even though you have a placard. They end up calling the police. When you're in the store, you explain to the police officer your disability, everything checks out, but this incident created a crowd, and that crowd doesn't really know you, and they don't know your disability, but they can see the other person's, and now the whole entire crowd's against you. That disabled person participated in ableism, because not all disabilities are visible. At the end of this, Gabbie brings up Britney again, and how she tweeted out Britney was 2008's form of cancel culture, and how people lambasted her for saying that by saying, don't compare yourself to Britney. And she goes on to be like, when did I compare myself to Britney? In this, she never directly compares herself to Britney. She never goes, I'm exactly like Britney Spears, or any of the other celebrities she talks about. But on the other hand, what she's doing is trying to frame a narrative by bringing them up in this. She's trying to frame a narrative of relate Britney Spears to me. And that's extremely manipulative. If she wasn't at all trying to say I'm like Britney Spears, then she wouldn't have put them in the series at all. She's only putting them in the series to frame this narrative